What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another video. And let's be real, right? This channel is supposed to be about you guys. You guys basically having a completely free pass into my feelings, my interpretation of things. You know what I mean? My opinions, obviously. And maybe for the jokes or to be cringed out or to hate me or whatever, you know what I mean? So we interact in that way. Okay, cool. uh Harris apparently is making her final push, and they keep saying final push. There was a final push yesterday, and today there's another final push. I don't think they know the word. I don't think they know what the word final means. I think literally freaking Inigo Montoya needs to go over there and give them the famous that I don't think that word means what you think it means. That type of that classic line made by a completely dumb asshole. Of course, I'm talking about Rob Reiner and the classic Princess Bride. But see, that's what I'm talking about. I went off on a tangent right now while we're talking about serious business, and it is serious business. So, what I'm trying to say, if you're new here, or if you're trying to get to know me a little bit better, I basically have a free form type of conversation style. I talk to you guys as if you were here, and I think, and I kind of think out loud, you know. Sometimes I like resemble Peter Parker in that way, you know, because I like to see it, think it, and then hear it, just to reassure myself that that's what's going on. My hearing's kind of gone, so that's another story. But whatever. The point is, she's making the final push again, her second or third or fourth final push to engage Latino voters in Arizona and Nevada. I don't speak for all Cubans. I don't speak for all Hispanics. I don't speak for all Latinos. And I don't speak for all, Hispanic Latinos, or if they want to call themselves Latino Hispanic, whatever, because you can be both or you can be one, and there's a difference. So, whatever it is. Now, from what I know, and from generalization and what's called balance of probability, right? uh Basically you weigh everything as equal, and then you think, okay, what's the more likely thing that happened? What's the, gotta use Occam's razor too, so what I'm trying to say is I'm basically winding it up to this. She may actually get some of the votes in Arizona and Nevada. I'll tell you why. But before I do, please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. That stuff is like, I'm not gonna say it's like crack because I don't do it, and so I wouldn't know. But that stuff, hits my dopamine and makes me happy, dude. It's like a treat. So come on, hook up your boy. Um, plus, we'd love to have you as the newest member of the flock. Flock is for life. Flock fam is here always and will always be here for you, because guess what, guys? The air is for everyone. We are people that are reasonable. We are people that, yeah, we might be tough at some times. We might be bullies at some times, some moments, because sometimes you just have to be. And let's be honest, and I'm not preaching any type of violence. I'm just saying that sometimes you have to realize that they're acting like children. So if you can't treat them like adults and they are actually acting as like children, then what do? You have to pretty much pander them and just basically go, okay, that's nice, sweetheart, and go pound sand. You know what I mean? And that's just one interpretation, And I'm going to be honest with you, though. That's a generalization, but there's a lot of different ethnicities in Arizona and Nevada. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people are happy. They're proud of their heritage. And they saw the kind of dubious nature of how Kamala Harris was the first Indian American, a senator or female or whatever. And that was cool and that was, noteworthy. But when they ask you, are you black? Yeah, I'm black. I've always been black. Bitch. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Fucking bitch. It's seriously like that. Bitch. What were you saying? What were you trying to lie about? Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If, and I'm trying to give you guys a white pill, okay? For real. If like some crazy overt fraud happens, right? And they let people that are illegal vote for whatever reason. The common conspiracy theories that they got paid, and the people that they got paid, and that's why they were there to just get in there, vote, get paid, and get that get the fuck out. So I don't know if it's true. I know that the behavior was crazy as hell from everything I saw, and that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Now, speaking in generalities, if you have, then they will. If the states happen to have a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Nicaraguenses, a lot of Guatemala, how do you? I don't remember Guatemalans, but I don't remember how to say it in Spanish. Guatemala is in Spanish, but I don't remember. Someone teach me. Someone teach me. Well, how do I say that he or she is, from Honduras or from, from wherever? I completely forgot. See, information that I never use, that I Sherlock Holmes memory palace it, and then it's like up for deletion. Maybe it was deleted, probably not, but I just have to get it on a rare freaking. I'm not gonna say it was a 20 roll, but you're like rolling like an 18 or 17 DC, man, and you're not getting a lot of benefit. So when you roll, you gotta roll high, and there's so many ways that they can actually commit fraud, that there's no realistic way to stop it. One person couldn't do it. The departments that should be doing it aren't doing it. I understand. I was a police officer, okay? Again, I understand that you can't put a friggin' police officer watching every booth. You can't do that, and you shouldn't do that. But guess what? Pay a whack and hunt employee or something, or freaking get rid of those booths and have less booths, because it's crazy what you guys are doing. And maybe that's against the law, but do something then. Because don't tell me that the law has never run into this problem, right? Because in my experience of history and in my study at the police academy, the law, when it's a brand new law, it tends to be because someone got away with something or something happened in a way that seemed unfair, and people said, yeah, we need to make a law about that. You know what I'm saying? And all it is someone who got away with something, and people they hated it on them. They got all jelly. So they got all jelly, and they basically, put down any creative effort. Not me. You guys tell me what you think, okay? I don't remember in Spanish how to say it. Freaking Guatemala. I don't remember. I'm sorry, you guys. Keep in mind, I am Cuban, and that was my first language, but I spent a long time not using it, and I'm up here right now in a beautiful part of Florida, and I can't, really use it on many people. So it's kind of screwed. I use it on my grandmother, but my grandmother can't hear. So then that turns into a shouting contest, and then that raises my blood pressure, and then you got, stupidity going on. So let's talk about the people that could be in these rallies in Arizona and Nevada. As I said, just to preface this, and I'm not even going to pull numbers because I believe that even 100 ballots is too much voter fraud. And I know that realistically, there's going to be thousands. And I know that realistically, it's going to be even more than that. Maybe even millions when it comes to people that, maybe they changed the freaking thing, or maybe they just threw away other thing instead of, whatever. It's not all going to be illegal aliens. It's not going to be that. Even though I would love to know what's racist about having an ID as a necessity to voting. That's crazy. That's some white savior shit. And as someone that you guys consider brown, which that really pisses me off because I've been referred to all sorts of stupid shit like I'm some sort of Fabergé egg just because I'm obviously ethnic, and I am treated better as if I have to, be treated better so that I don't complain because they're afraid of me because he's a white guy. And guess what? I don't give a shit. This guy can now be in my face barking at me, blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean that he's automatically racist. We can't, reduce our freaking countrymen and obviously country women. You guys know me by now. We can't reduce our countrymen to just pandering. We can't reduce our countrymen to literally, and I mean this for real, for real. As a Hispanic, I'm a Hispanic, okay? As a Hispanic, I have like special stereotypes that were just drilled into my head just growing up, and it wasn't like a racist thing because the the black people and we did have a couple Jewish kids, but I had no idea. Like I really didn't learn anything about Judaism when I should have been, but that's another matter altogether. So yeah, I talked with the Jewish boys and all that, whatever. And long story short, in generalizations, okay, some of us, and I'm talking about Hispanics, and I'm talking about the Latinos, Latinas, obviously, and I'm talking about everybody basically that is either Hispanic, Latino, or Hispanic and Latino. We're just an ethnicity. It's just like being freaking Scottish or being Irish. We're still white. Some of us are not. Some of us are, white with Taino blood or ancestors that were, Afro slaves or what was called Afro Cubans. And they could have been, the product of, like I said, two slaves because, yeah, there was slavery in Cuba, but it wasn't, you know, um, supposedly it wasn't as bad. I'm not saying slavery is not, bad. I'm saying supposedly it wasn't as bad. Uh, and they basically gave up the slaves like right away and eventually anyways. Uh, and in Cuba, basically Miami, the area, and especially the area that I was in, it turned into Cuba. It really did. You can ask South Floridians. You can ask them. Just ask them. Say, bro, or madam, sir, or however you feel. The other day, I got served 3 times in one store. I couldn't believe it. I was happy on one hand. I told him he's got great manners. God bless him. And on the other hand, I said, damn, bro, am I really that old already? But anyways, getting back on topic, right? So, Um, in generalizations, we mess with each other. We say racist stuff about one another all the time, all the time. For example, I don't know, and this might be common knowledge. It is kind of one of the bigger ones. The Dominican Republican guys, right? The Dominicans, they hate being called Haitian, and the Haitians hate being called Dominican. And I tell you that because I learned from experience. So what I'm trying to say is fuck this, what is it? It's the CRT training, this race theory training. Fuck this shit. Okay? It's a freaking struggle session, guys. It's a struggle session. China is doing this shit. China puts you out there, tortures you, dehumanizes you, breaks you down until you're basically saying whatever the fuck China wants you to say. And it was like that in Cuba too. And I knew it was like that because my grandfather never stopped telling me. He never stopped giving me books. The very few things that he had, he used. Some he used to pawn, so we could we could stay the night. And he got it back eventually. Thank God. It's a stopwatch, an older style stopwatch. And he left me this ring. Cherish this ring. It was my grandfather. And he was good people for the most part. He was Cuban too. Obviously, full Cuban. And my point is, I would be classified as brown. These people do not understand that when you reduce someone to an animal state where you have no identity other than are you gay, are you transgender, are you white, are you black, are you one of those Christians, are you one of those Jews, are you a Muslim, oh okay, are you an atheist? All of these things, for starters, it's none of the business of the government. And I would say that if you can get away with it, and I'm not saying during a police interview, never do this, but if you can get away with it, when the police and the feds come to speak with you, there's a viral video going out showing what you do. In this day and age, you always got a camera on you. Record them. Explain to them that you do not want to take any questions unless you're under arrest. Ask them repeatedly, are you under arrest? I am sure that most of them will not want to be on camera. And this is not legal advice. This is just your homie giving you, ways to legally protest and not riot. So when that happens, just don't take the ticket. You're crazy anyways, right? And I don't know anything I don't know any better. I'm just a Cuban. What do I know, right? Guys, I don't care about racism. America is not a racist country. Look at all of the freaking interracial, ethnic, there's even interfaith marriages going on. And you guys are so hateful. Even though you say you run, on joy, it's all a lie, man. So what's going to happen here, it's all going to depend on the mindset of the Hispanic and or slash, Hispanic and Latino population. It's gonna depend all on them for these states, most likely. And the problem is, and I'm gonna be real with you, in a lot of Hispanic culture, in a lot of Latino culture, there is a serious misogyny going on. It's for real. It's for real. Uh, I'll give you an example, and I'm sure that the left and the hate watchers will watch, and if they watch it, they'll clip it, and they'll talk about how my grandfather was a misogynist and the way he treated his wife, whatever. Um, so I'm not accepting this. To me, it's disgusting, but I'm giving you an idea of what it was like to date in Cuba during the 40s as an example, okay? And even during the 50s. You're dating as a man, you're dating. As a woman, you're giving every boy a hard time and only giving one boy a chance at a time. And if that boy doesn't work culturally, and because you don't want to embarrass yourself or your family, you might wait a little bit before letting another male caller come at you because you don't want to be seen as a slut. But this is not the case in every single ethnicity or race or blah, 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 blah. And you can't pander to that because that's not real. That doesn't make up who you are. This is just a shell anyway, bro. So don't react so crazily to the fact that, number one, there is going to be that misogyny. I'm sorry, but that's going to help the freaking election for my side. So I'm happy about it. I'm not saying misogyny is good. I'm just saying that I understand it's part of this culture, and I'm not even naming cultures, you know. For example, my grandfather, when he was dating my grandmother, it took, I think, 2 or 3 years before they were actually courting and actually kissing. And it was like innocent pecking and like meeting at church. Like, how crazy, right? And the woman was only allowed to see one man. But the man in Cuba, remember, in Cuba during the 30s and 40s and etc., okay? The man was allowed and expected to be a pimp, a hustler, a man, a man, have a high sex drive and get as many girls as you can because, hey, you're the man. Because, and I can tell you right now, in Cuba, bro, there's like way too many alpha males. There's NPCs too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, we got alpha males that don't have any direction. And that's a dangerous thing. That's why you gotta invite people into the tent with love. Just like Jesus did, dude. I'm not trying to get too religious here, but this is a journey inside my head. Excuse me. Now let's read this. I'm not gonna get into the details too far. This is not really important because, dude, and this isn't anecdotal evidence. In those states, because they're border states, they they know what bad comes from illegal immigration. They know the struggle that comes from illegal immigration. I bet a lot of them knew that Kamala Harris was the border czar because I bet a lot of them had farms that were getting encroached and were constantly calling to see where the perimeter was and blah 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 and establishing more information with the government, which I hate, but you can't do anything about it, so you do it. And dude, like, you do it, and it's wrong. And when they got married, when my grandparent, I know I'm like completely disconnected with the story, but I never finished the first story. So when they got married, it was still expected of my grandmother to be only with him, and and for him to basically be able to be a pimp and do whatever he wants. And the most disgusting thing was that they would call his house, and literally my grandmother would pick up the phone and be like, hello, and she knows what's going on, and you're basically talking to the woman that's about to fuck your husband. And I look, every situation is different. I know there's some people that see that like as exciting or as like dangerous. It's because it's perverse, it's exciting, it's something new or a novelty. I don't know, whatever. But I'm as vanilla as vanilla can be. I would never ever contribute to anything that I thought was crooked in any way. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if the polls that were done in like 2022, when people were talking about how horrible Kamala was before she was running for president, obviously, when that was happening, nobody gave a shit. Nobody said don't attack Kamala. Nobody said get her name right. It's Kamala. It's Kamala. Brother, I'm not the one, bro. I'm too old to fight, you know? I don't fight. So, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. She is pandering so much. She had Joe Biden call us garbage, which I really think I'm starting to think he's tanking. He's tanking the election on purpose. And you know what? He's a gigantic evil piece of shit. In my opinion, that's not fact, obviously. I have facts of stuff that he's done that make me think he's in the super evil piece of shit. But at this point in his life, this is not what he needs. This is not what, anybody kind of deserves. Because with my grandmother, you guys, sometimes it's Groundhog's Day, man. And it feels like hell. For real. Like, I'm not trying to play the victim violin. I'm just trying to, like, give you a little bit of my soul. For real. And the thing is, I feel an obligation to tell you guys the truth and to present myself as myself and to tell you my principles. And some of you conservatives are not going to agree with me, especially on my views on like drugs and pornography and sex work, because I'm not even sure about the sex work or whatever. But the point is, forget all that good stuff. That's meat for another day, right? Uh, she's pandering again, okay? And the thing that is super like I want to say tone deaf, but it's more severe than tone deaf. Tone deaf. Tone deaf. I hate that word. Tone deaf. Also, I don't like horror because it's weird. Horror. It's weird, right? Anyways, so yeah, man. So I can't see it, dude. I can't. And you know what else? I can't imagine myself sitting through 4 years of her. Even if I'm wrong, and the powers that be don't go full commie, or they don't go full, more government power. Even if that happens, even though we're gonna lose a ton of food. Oh my, sorry, Lord. Yeah, I'm not. I myself have not thought of the unknown unknowns and the known unknowns. And I also haven't applied the few things that we do, the known knows, or is it the known the new the known unknowns, the things you didn't know about, now you know about them. They're no longer unknown. I think, but I give up. So yeah, so she's just such an idiot, dude. She's such an idiot, bro. And I hate hearing her, dude. It's I tried. I really tried. I'm not kidding. But can I tell you guys a secret? Like for real, for real. I was watching her yesterday, and I was gonna actually make notes and try to be professional about this and not freeball it like Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson's a G. He's a legend, and he freeballs it. He doesn't write remarks or notes or headers and talking points that you need to bring up or whatever. Blah blah blah. He doesn't do that. He is just a gangster, and he does everything from the top of his head, and that's amazing. And I think that Trump is like that too, and that's also amazing. That doesn't make you a better president or anything. I'm just acknowledging and appreciating the coolness of that type of gift. Now, I saw on Twitter. I haven't read this article yet, as I've said, but I saw on Twitter. Uh, it was trending. It was like "fuck you, Harrison" or "fuck you, Kamala," or so. It was a bunch of smaller trending things, and they were pretty aggressive or whatever. And dude, like they're getting look, guys. I love our memes, but they're not for everybody. It doesn't matter at this point, really. I don't think that I don't think a piece of art will turn away a potential voter, an independent voter that was really on the fence. I don't think so. But if nothing else, at the very least, you used the funds for something good and something that'll stay. Hopefully, they don't tear it down eventually. So, oh God, Democrats, bro. Anyways, so and I think she's got over $1 billion. Speaking of money, I think she got over like $1 billion, dude, for her campaign, obviously. And she milked Hollywood, like milked them, milked them, milked them. But it's a lot of it is starting to look like Hillary. A lot of it is. A lot of it is. And I have been saying for weeks now, or months now, or whatever, I have been saying that this woman is just as unlikable as Hillary Clinton. I said maybe even more because at least with Hillary, she went to the Al Smith dinner. She threw some jokes. She also joked at her own expense, which was like, wow, really? Holy shit! Wow, okay, cool, cool. She, you know, she she did what her party told her to do, basically, dude. Concede and then talk about how it was stolen. That's the only thing that honestly that could have led to what happened next in history. You know what I mean? So we're in this position because obviously Hillary Clinton was unpopular. Joe Biden won somehow. I'm not saying it was stolen. I'm not saying it wasn't stolen. I am saying there was rampant voter fraud. I am saying that if we're going to keep using terms like rampant voter fraud, I think we need to use them in their actual scientific way, in the way the nomenclature was actually created. So if I ask you for the damn spoon, you know that it's just a spoon. So give me the damn spoon, dude. But we're trying. So, anyways, so she has nothing but Trump, Hitler. Well, wait. First it was what was it? It was oh, let's be, party of joy and unity and this and that and blah blah blah. And then what did it become? The party of fuck Donald Trump by any means necessary. Look at Twitter. A lot of it is bots. A lot of it is bots. For sure, for sure, for sure. Just because they speak the exact same way and it's like 4 or 5 people that they just keep posting at the same time, and it's just obvious as hell that they're just bots. So what's a person to do? You know? And man, she hasn't kept it 100, bro. Like I said, she is black, but you can be multiracial. Barack Obama forgot that he was multiracial, which that's messed up. You're abandoning your history. Which, by the way, you should be kissing the ass of your white ancestors. And I'm not talking about your like black ancestors from 200 or 300 years ago. I'm talking about your literal, the person, the grandfather and grandmother that adopted you, you know, the one that took you in because they were good people, you know? So I don't understand why the hatred for whiteness comes in. I don't understand why I am a Uncle Tom also. I've been called all sorts of stupid names and they're not even funny, bro. I wish they were funny. If they were funny, but they're not even funny, dude. So sad. So we got check this out. Look at what presidential Barbie has to say. She says Vice President Kamala Harris held campaign events on October 31st in Arizona and Nevada from key battlegrounds with large Latino communities. Harris kicked off her campaign with a stop in Phoenix, Arizona, before continuing to events to two cities in Nevada, Reno and Las Vegas. Kind of weird. In both states, Harris began her speech by discussing economic challenges, especially the high cost of living. Okay, so far so good, right? And on top of my list, in that spirit, is bringing down your cost of living. It's an issue that we need to address, and it will be my focus every single day as president. She's making promises, but they sound like empty promises. If something was going on wrong in your house, your dishwasher was broken, your dryer was broken, whatever, your toilet was spilling water and basically flooding the freaking bathroom, whatever. I don't know why I kept focusing on the toilet. But anyways, but the point is, right, when something like that stupid happens, because they got to learn through stupidity sometimes. I believe that. I believe that experience is the best teacher. And I believe that you got to give your kid, if your kid's goal is here, you know what? Let's just go like that. Give them an inch or maybe two. You know why? Because the most important thing you can do when you describe character, when you describe even love, it's about staying loyal and never quitting. And we've got I don't idolize Trump. I think he's the man. I think he's the badass. I know that if I met him I'd get butterflies in my stomach. I think he's a true freaking G. Yes, he is a sinful man. Yes, he is not flawless, just like no one is flawless. I'm not trying to be biblical here. I know I'm preachy, but the guy has taken two assassination attempts already for us. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to be president at all. And for all you people saying, oh, he did it because he's a narcissist. And the narcissists love being the center of attention and love being able to speak and love being blah, blah. Tell me something. One of the biggest challenges with a narcissist is in getting them to understand that they did something wrong. I know this because I struggled with somebody with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and I think my mother was probably also a sufferer of NPD as I look back on it now, older, wiser, and an adult with 20/20 vision and no like resentment over stuff that happened, no like what I mean, no. So yeah. So I got my values, even though I didn't have a dad or whatever. I got my values from comic books. I didn't want to be um someone that abandoned their kid, I didn't want to be um And I don't mean, I don't want to be a deadbeat dad, dude. I met this NPD dude, and he's a deadbeat dad, and not me, man, not me. I don't want that. That's why I try to be a better parent. But man, dude, Lala, oof, she just tries my patience, dude. Like, good lord. Like, I don't have, like, you have resistances in your game, right? On your defense, tab in whatever game you're playing. I have no resistance for her when she's, having an attack. It is crazy, bro. It is crazy. I only have like two speeds, grounding and not doing anything. But anyways, again, remember, man, this is just a look into my head. You guys can skip forward. I don't have like any sponsors or anything. Just gonna get back to the article, and I apologize again for going off on a tangent. Uh, Again, I haven't slept, so I think that's the fourth day at this point. I slept a little bit. I felt really good though. I don't understand. Like after that, it was like a 10-minute nap at most, maybe like a 9-minute nap, and I felt great even though I really haven't slept in 4 days basically. And I'm tired. I also feel very dehydrated. And you get like that, dude. And that's another way that in freak accidents people have water intoxication and they die from getting drunk on water or whatever it's called. I think it's called water intoxication. Anyways, she says some of this is just too funny, man. So she says, on day one when I am elected, I will walk in with a to-do list. Can we see the to-do list, please? Have you worked on it? Do you have it yet? You're a nerd, right? So, do you have it yet? Fucking bitch, dude. Fucking bitch, man. The type of woman that instead of just leaving you or divorcing you or whatever, will literally pick up everything of value, and then screw you in the worst way possible because she's being passive aggressive and petty, and the guy was a jerk and blah blah blah, and she just thinks with her emotions, and she's not gonna care that the police get her, even though she will. All sorts of stuff like that I've seen a million times. And again, the balance of probability, that type of impassioned crime of like destroying a car, used to be mostly females with a slight edge. Just a very, and I do mean a slight edge, because um, that statistic obviously keeps track of like looting and carjacking, because obviously if you just destroy the car, which a lot of these jerks do, uh, your car's a mess. So it was a carjack completely because now it's junk. Which, dude, whew, God forbid. God forbid, for real, for real. Anyways, so she's got an A list. She's got a plan. She's been in office almost 4 years. She hasn't implemented it yet. All she can say is, but Trump. And then y'all want to talk like she is living rent free in his head. I don't think he should give a fuck about whatever you guys say about his rallies. I think that you should highlight the fact that it's much more important that we talk and get the real truth out of what Joe Biden said, which was he thought, or he thinks for real, and he had a Freudian slip, he thinks that the MAGA movement, the independents that follow the MAGA movement, all of the non-Republican MAGA movement supporters, every single doctor, teacher, firefighter, police officer, mailman, freaking truck driver, everybody. You can ask them, but you don't. And you you hold town halls with safe people, and even with the safe people, you can't answer a question with anything other than some sort of stupid platitude. And this is scary. And she's got nothing except but Trump, but Trump, but Trump, but my Trump. And she's like, and literally, Brett Baer literally was like, but you're the one that's been in the White House for 3.5 years. And she said, what? Oh, but Donald Trump's been running. What does that have to do with illegal immigration? Like some of the stuff that you left to say is outrageous. It's really dumb. It's ridiculous. It's, a bunch of other R words. It is. Sorry. And like I'm not with it. I just want to get in and out, blah blah blah, whatever. Now, you're going to have people that are going to be inspecting the hell out of this election. Because, like I said earlier, I think this is going to be the election of our lifetime. So, can't believe that they're putting Latin X. So, guys, consider me, the very humble Maverick Raven. Consider me, if necessary, or if you want to add, consider me your token minority friend who does not believe what he's supposed to believe and has never been on the plantation, will never fall into the plantation, and will always be America first, because I intend to keep the truth. See my arm right here? Hold up. See my arm right there? It says Veritas, truth. The other one says justice. It's a little corny, but you know what? I believe in it. Those are my principles. Those are my values. That's a little piece of me, So we got to handle this for real. And I think that in giving them information, not only are you helping them, you're also making them more pander. The pandering happens even worse, to a bigger extreme, because now they know, oh, we got a couple people, we can maybe blah blah blah. And I don't want, dude, guys, look. The last time I saw it, and I'm gonna keep it. That's it after this, because you know what? So what? She went to go get the Latins and the freaking Hispanics and blah blah blah. And of course, some are going to have their reservations just because of their culture. Some are hopefully not going to be dishonest enough to vote if they're illegal. It's bad enough that you're here illegally. Please don't destroy my country further by voting. We already got dead people voting, and apparently, we don't have a limit or a number on how much fraud is too much fraud, or an unacceptable level of fraud. And all this should be taken to heart. All of this. This pandering is disgusting, okay? When Donald Trump does it, he ruins the schedule, the itinerary. He's supposed to be, for example, 5 to 7 here. He'll go. When the event starts and he's supposed to speak, he goes. What does he do? He goes along the people and he greets them and he tells them that he's there for them, that he's gonna represent them, that he wants to represent them. It's, in my opinion, inspirational that Donald Trump, a flawed man, has changed, and I believe in redemption. How else could I be a Catholic if I didn't believe in redemption? I believe in penance too, though. I kind of do. Now, we got to be fair, and I could do this in a biblical way, or I could do this in a more civic minded way. And I'm obviously not going to do it in a Christian way, because that I would understand why, more sensitive people would be triggered, even though I think it's ridiculous, because this is your new home and the American flag is your flag now if you want to stay here. So whatever. So we've got a problem, you guys, and it's time for the women. It's time for Hispanics and Latinos and Hispanic Latinos. I like Hispanic Latinos better than Latino Hispanics. I think it sounds better. I think Hispanic Latinos sounds better. It's kind of cool. It sounds like Spanglish, like actual Spanglish. But yeah, but anyway, so um with everything is in play right now, you guys. Every single thing is in play. She's not messing around. And like I was trying to, make that metaphor. He is just super cool, dude. He's late for his speeches because he wants to say hi to all these people. He talks with them. He hears them. He tells them he loves them too. That he loves America. He will stay there and start chants. And he does all sorts of nice things. But then what happens, for example, when a member in the crowd has a medical emergency? What does Donald Trump do? He stops the event out of respect and necessity, like a real man, a real good Christian man. I knew I said I was going to keep religion out of it, but I can't help myself, because you know what? Right now, being a straight white Christian male is like the hardest thing to be right now. Everybody can take a shot at us. We're awful in every way. We have no redeeming qualities. And me, because I'm also exotic. Like I said, your friendly neighborhood, my token minority. Uh, at least you can say you have one. Like, or if maybe if you have 12, now you got 13. Unlucky 13. So the point is that we're not a monolith. But if you look on Twitter and these are big accounts, dude, but they're leftist accounts, and they're talking about how cops are all the same. They vote as a monolith. Fuck cops, fuck you, and block. Boom. I got blocked by some, fuck the police organization, blah blah, whatever. Some organization that the police is never right. But the point was that nobody was there for these police officers. You know what I'm saying? The the white skin, the the belief in Christianity, the straightness, all that makes you the easiest target. That makes me the easiest target too, because like I said, I consider myself white. But because, like I was saying, because I'm ethnic, I give them a bonus of also being like a twofer. Like, no, I got a white guy and he just happens to be Hispanic. Like I am a twofer. So I'd rather he get me than anybody else. I'm a handle bit, because that's my job. Because like I always tell you guys, your job is to protect your family. And kiddos, if you're 12, 13, 14, 15, you're hearing this, if you're 19, 20, I could come at you biblically, and I could come at you, with common sense. I could come at you with the reason why people should be the neutral good alignment, right? Like in D&D. I used to play D&D forever, but I'd go to Denny's and we'd start at night. Well, we start in the afternoon. We'd play all night and then go to Denny's and put all our stuff there and stay there for like an hour and a half too. And we would tip the waitress or the waiter really good, but it was fun, man. And then they want to act like we're the weird ones. And, we don't have to allow that. So just remember, you guys, peaceful if you're going to protest. You're probably better off not protesting unless it's literally going to be like a 1,000,000-man march. If it's literally going to be like a 1,000,000-man march and the government is going to be completely overwhelmed with the amount of attention that is put on this election, because the fraud was very suspicious and overt in the last election. And we're supposed to believe that all the kinks are solved, even though the same old kinks are happening again, where it's a person presses to vote for Donald Trump and then it won't give, and then when it finally does register, it just presses Kamala Harris and it asks you, do you want a freaking copy of your vote back, whatever, do you want it to print? And you know what, man, when you're finally there, if you've been waiting a while or if you just got in there and there was no wait, chances are you're trying to get out of there as fast as possible. So you might not even look at it. Yeah, fuck it, Kamala Harris. And it's not because of anything other than when all these mistakes happen, they always happen against the conservatives and with no harm to the progressives or the Democratic Party. I mean, the coincidences are crazy. I believe in coincidences, but not really. Not really. And realistically speaking, the greatest judge, the greatest oracle, if you want to call it that, for what you're going to do now and in the future is to examine your past, examine her past, examine everybody's past. When Donald Trump was not running for president, he was an icon of culture. He was a literal cult of personality type figure. Because he already had rappers wanting to be like him. He already was the New York cool bully type, And, I will tell you that I understand why Marvel and DC want to put up, progressive characters that are brand new and they want it to work so that, excuse me one second, so that, you could progress and change the diversity line a little bit at a time. Now, the thing is that line has been getting more and more extreme. And realistically speaking, we are at the emergency point. We are at a point of no return. I'm not advocating for violence. I would never do that on YouTube. So what I am advocating is to do what you can peacefully, legally. If you're around an area, maybe you can just chill out, an hour, a half hour. Don't bring any freaking Trump merch because they are being nasty against people and throwing them out. Threatening police officers to arrest them because they're influencing votes. Which, if we're going to talk about influencing votes, we should talk about how at every single voting station, it used to be that the Democratic Party would have a freaking registration tent right there, and it would tell you who to vote for because they would register you and right away give you the ability to vote Democrat. And they just got a great experience in that stupid pyramid gazebo thing. So, of course, you're going to sign with them. And now you're screwed. You know what I mean? But, so this is what we got, guys. Donald Trump did have a very small advantage in Michigan. Apparently he's lost it, unfortunately. They announced yesterday that the vice president will host her election night watch party at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Her alma mater. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And the historically black college. I knew I was going to say it too, but I didn't want to be like one of those guys that would then be accused of, oh, you just saw it ahead of time. I didn't see it ahead of time, dude. I'm like way too tired and like I'm like freaking tipsy, dude, from lack of sleep. I am like super crazy tipsy right now. It's hilarious. Um and I didn't drink anything or anything. It's just lack of sleep will hurt you. Oh, anyways, so we got a problem in Pennsylvania. Scott Pressler has done a lot of work. Uh, if we lose Pennsylvania, the chances of Donald Trump winning get almost minute. Not impossible. Not like, a drop in the bucket. It just becomes really small compared to where we're at now. Uh, but the thing is, when they give you a 66, for example, let's say they give you a 66 uh, win probability and a 33% lose probability I'm sorry, a 33% win probability for Kamala Harris, 33%. Well, where do you put your money? And wherever you put your money might affect the market, and then the people that come betting after you will then examine, the situation, blah blah blah, right? And then they will have to, um, how can I explain this? They will have to do the same type of ritual to basically ensure that everything is safe. And the thing is that, dude, like, Steven Crowder's helping. There's been, tons of video reports everywhere, 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 everywhere. And, dude, like, excuse me, guys. My voice is going to shit. Um, I am really kind of bummed that apparently Harris, I don't know what poll this is. I'm sorry. It's according to Real Clear Politics average. Apparently, he's maintaining his lead in 5 of the 7 battleground states as of October 31st. He has a 2.6 percentage point lead in Georgia and a 2.4 advantage in Arizona. Trump also maintains a narrow advantage in North Carolina, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Now, here's the thing. They're saying that she's going to win Pennsylvania because people are going to believe her that she's not going to ban fracking. That's stupid. I'm sorry. That you shouldn't believe a word from this woman. Fact check my ass. Yes, Donald Trump has laid some whoppers out there. Yes, he can get bombastic and maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, in his speech. He's a showman. It comes naturally. You want to talk about Joe Biden's stutter and you want to protect it, but you won't let him have a tick. Or can he have a tick? Because that's his tick. So just let him have it, okay? He's freaking just fucking with you. Anyways, so the reality is that if Trump wins Georgia and North Carolina, he actually can win without Pennsylvania, but he has to win North Carolina and Georgia both. For sure, for sure. If he doesn't win Pennsylvania and then he doesn't win North Carolina either, I'm sorry, not is it North Carolina or Georgia? I think it's Georgia. So you can't win Pennsylvania and you can't win Georgia. I think he's got no chance to ascend to the presidency where he belongs, frankly. Where he belongs, so you guys just, let's tone down the rhetoric, man. I call her an idiot, and I think she is an idiot, and I think she's a woman with no value, no scruples. I do not think she's intelligent. It doesn't take intelligence to read a book 20 times and get 80% of the knowledge to stick in your brain for a week or whatever. That's not intelligence. That's called necessity. And it's not something to be ashamed of. There are people that can get it on the first try. My boy Ryan is kind of one of those people. He gets stuff on the first try with, without even doing anything. It's just kind of like beginner's luck for real, but he's good at stuff. Me, I tend to be good at a lot of stuff, but I have to work my ass off, and I'm lazy, dude. I'm lazy, I'll be honest. So, you know, just just to remind you guys, man, I'm here. Lay out the comments. Don't do not vote for Kamala Harris, man. Just don't do it. It's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good for you. If you are childless but want children, this is not the woman for you. She literally threw the federal government at parents that disagreed with her in school meetings. She has to be a Marxist. And if she's a Marxist. And you know what else? She is a fascist. And we're just going to call a spade a spade. Because here's the thing. There is a very fine line in between a social program and a social welfare program. And when I say that, I'm just trying to give it easy nomenclature, right? Let's say that the whatever. Let's say that the AC plan, the first one, for my AC unit, okay? I've got an AC unit on the top floor. Let's say that for my AC unit, you needed to sorry, I was reading something here. So let's say that in my AC unit, you have something there that I need to connect with for whatever reason, right? We do that, we go through the struggle of connecting, and it kills the stream, it really does. But it's open, it's honest, and I gotta tell you, man, like I don't want to be manipulated, have my likeness manipulated. I'm not gonna say I'm afraid of like having my likeness freaking used as an example of an Uncle Tom or a bigot or whatever else the left wants to use, because it's always the left that's racist, dude. It's always them, and they have no self-awareness, man. So it's just you're just screaming into a cavern that has no bottom, dude. You're going to hear an echo, but that's just them literally giving you empty platitudes that have no substance and they have no benefit whatsoever. All they did was rise your hope a little bit, and then you realized that that's the reason why it was given to you, so that your despair can be the worst ever. That is literally hell for some people. You know what I mean? That's hell for my boy, like for real. Him not being able to drive his car, and because he just likes to drive, dude, and he used to drive, not competitive, amateur, trying to get somewhere, and he just took a bunch of hits, dude. But what's happening now is affecting the working man. Every working man and woman, and I'll say it again, when I say the working man, when I say all of man, when I say whatever for the benefit of mankind, let's not pretend that you don't understand. The word still exists, and it still defines mankind, whether you're a woman or a male. It defines mankind. So look, to kill this video already, we have, and I'm being 100% honest, in the MAGA side we have a problem with abortion. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because even though you guys think, and I'm talking to leftists right now, even though you, yeah, and I'm not saying, oh, you're all left, they're all leftists or whatever. I'm just talking to the leftists or about the leftists, if you prefer. Now, you can put all these people, blah blah, and use our tax money that should not belong to them, because as it is, Social Security, where are you going to give it? You've taken so much money from so many people with the promise of paying it back and keeping it safe for you. You're not even giving them interest when you hold the money for decades until their retirement. The Social Security is a freaking scam, dude. It's all a scam. But there's a huge difference between a social welfare program, like, for example, a garbage man or a police officer. A group of people get together, right? And they say, this is the county, and we're going to have a sheriff and a bunch of deputy sheriffs protect the county. And then, obviously in that space, the freaking, the other police departments, the municipalities came, and they started popping up in and over Miami-Dade County jurisdiction. But that doesn't mean that they lost jurisdiction. It's just that that was their only jurisdiction, those city guys, unless it was a felony. Whatever. I probably shouldn't be saying any of this, but I'm a little bit of I guess I'm a Guy Fawkes, dude. I get tipsy because I can't sleep, and I just give away all the secrets, bro. Anyways, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to convey to you guys a sense of teamwork and how things that would be successful fail. I just mentioned Guy Fawkes. He failed because he got drunk and he bragged about it, and everything was set up. If he would have just not gone to the bar, chances are nobody would have been, alarmed or alerted to the bombs, to the gunpowder kegs that they had. And nobody would be saying, remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason, and plot. Because it would have to be much worse than that. Because people would have been devastated. And I don't use that word lightly. But the thing is that these people do not understand that we are kind of at the precipice of World War III, and it's not because Donald Trump might be excuse me, it's not because Donald Trump might be president again. It's because we're in a bad position because Kamala Harris might be president, and we don't know who this shadowy figure with power that is controlling Kamala Harris, because that woman definitely has a handler. She's got no principles, no values, no personality, no character, just a straight, artificial person. Whatever you want, whatever gets me the most votes. I just want to be president. I don't ever care if I can never look at myself in the mirror again, because I'm going to lie to everyone. I'm going to impose communism. It's going to work this time, even though it never worked, even though it's the most murderous regime in history, socialism and communism, which, I don't give enough of a fuck to define the difference, and I know it. It's just such a slight, stupid difference. Oh, okay, so the community owns part of it. Who cares? Fascism, communism, socialism. This is what you want to teach your kids. If Donald Trump was going to do this, he had all the knowledge, he had all of the ability, he had all of the motive, if you want to call it that, and he had all of the opportunity to basically just, I don't want to say destroy you, because that's not exactly what I want, but I'm saying just destroy your character, or just, put some crummy, corrupt law But we're not going to do that, right? Because we're freaking conservatives, dude. But this is sus, man. This is all sus, dude. This is sus. Uh, there's been, complaints about, like I said, hitting Donald Trump and eventually getting just stuck with Kamala Harris. There's been uh, centers that are closed early. There's been centers that just are not open with no explanation and no one there to even say hello or what the fuck's going on. Or just boarded up. I don't. We did have a hurricane, which my wife was here, man. Like what, 2 weeks ago, I guess. Time flies, man. Time flies. Plus, I've been super busy, I apologize to you guys again, man. Thanks for putting up with me for that. Because I know I was gone for a little bit, and you guys forgive me, man. You keep forgiving me, and you guys are the best. Flock fam, man. You guys are appreciated and loved, for real, for real. So I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. This is a long ass video. I think that I have like the opposite of TDS. I think I have KDS, Kamala derangement syndrome, because she hasn't earned apparently one thing in her life. And it kind of bugs me that I know people that have suffered, that have come here legally, and then have suffered some more in honest, good to, you know, honest to God manual work. And this guy eventually bought a food truck. He was a freaking, you know, he was a nobody. Nobody cared about him. And he must have been studying how to, cook, or he hired somebody. I don't know. But point is, the guy hired a food truck. And the moral of that story is not everyone that gets things deserve it. But if you work hard, you should be able to close the gap significantly. Because at the end of the day, you have not failed, okay, until you stop trying. And I'm not here with empty platitudes. I am here as serious as a heart attack, for real. Just go out and vote, man, and report whatever heinous, unusual, sus, crazy, sketchy. You get the point. I don't gotta keep dropping synonyms here. Anything that looks sus, report it. And you know what? I could, I could give a fuck less if you report it that it's a Republican doing it, or that it's a Democrat doing it. And I'll tell you why. For a long time, I was of the case that I wanted to fight fire with fire, and that I wanted to just take first place away from whoever had it. When I was a fighter, when I was competing. Because I used to teach American Kempo. Manny Reyes Senior was my teacher, not junior, senior. I even got to meet Ed Parker. But anyways, and like I was the founder of that style and everything, and he was famous also for knowing Bruce Lee and helping Bruce Lee develop. He's in the movie Enter the Dragon. What it's called? One with Jason Lee. That's the name, right? Anyways, he's in there as the character, not the act, not the person. But yeah, so I know I have a heightened fight or flight response, or at least I have a perception. People have a perception of me to have a good fight or flight response because of my training, because of my experience, because of the fact that I'm paranoid about this type of thing happening, because of the fact that my head is on a swivel because of my police training. Again, I gotta mention it, and because of the fact that it's just me, dude. And I guess I'm paranoid. Anyways, you know what, guys? Look, have a good night. Can't believe it's freaking November. This time I am off for real. I gotta figure out how to do shorter well, not streams, but videos, because at the end of the day, I am like literally just I'm being a little unprofessional, and I'll admit it, and I apologize because I'm getting so heated over Kamala Harris. I just it really, it really bothers me when somebody does something wrong and they get rewarded. That's my problem at this moment. That's why I have been kind of so incendiary, because she is DEI. She is the spirit of it. She has benefited off of it. She has, literally used the system to get every single advantage she could, and she still couldn't pass that bar exam. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I heard it's hard. I took a sales associate, for real estate test, and I took it with what was it? Golden, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Gold Coast, I think it is. Golden Coast, something like that. Point is, once you get those skills, right, you can work retail. You can stand up to people that are confronting you because they're pissed because of anything. Obviously, not to start anything. I'm just saying sometimes you got to get, a little ignorant. But I'm not, again, I'm not like calling for violence or anything. I'm just saying, please keep an eye on your thing if you can. If your friends haven't voted and you can get them to vote Trump, let's do that. I've been trying. I have been mostly failing, I'm not gonna lie, because at this point I'm getting either, oh man, I already voted and hell yeah, Trump, and the opposite too. Not as often, but I have gotten the opposite too of no, 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 thank you. I don't, I hate him. I voted for somebody else. I've gotten that, quite not like a ton, but quite a bit. And I am in, like I said, a mostly rural. I guess this is like suburban, or I don't know what to call this, man. It's mostly rural, but they keep building stuff on this one main street, and it doesn't make sense because eventually they're gonna need to push the street even further back if this town keeps growing the way it's growing. So, anyways, my point is, right. I'm glad that little freaking diversion was on camera, because that's a great example of a problem that presents itself at a second's notice, and the president is supposed to be able to fix it to the best of his or her ability. This woman literally said that she needs to study it. She's a bit of a nerd, and then she can come back with an answer. So we went from Joe Biden, who literally was asleep, and apparently they couldn't wake his ass up if it was, after 4. I don't know. If it was after 4, apparently, whatever, you couldn't get him. And that's the president. And then the VP, she doesn't want to deal with it at all. And she's acting like she wants to freaking, ghost people. And it's like, this is the party of unity and joy and all this crap. Y'all, you guys pander to the minorities, and you guys just use us, man. But anyways, you guys, listen, much love. I was wrong, by the way, about the Tom McDonald song. The thing is that Tom McDonald keeps putting those little shorts out, and he just keeps saying Friday. He doesn't put a date on the thing. He doesn't, anything that he could put. So what do? I go by, oh, okay, released 4 hours ago. Oh, okay, this Friday. It wasn't this Friday. It's an older thing, and that time thing was a complete wreck. So YouTube's got its problems too, and they're not gonna fix them. Anyways, wow, what a session. I know that the people that are dug in already, they're dug in already. I know that there are very few people that are independent or, Democratic or maybe even Republican that have not voted yet. I urge you, father, as a person who has been a leader to a community, I believe police officers take communities under their wing. We kind of, protect them from you guys ever even knowing that there's a problem. And we try to be reasonable, and we try to think always about America first. I am a Christian, so yes, of course, I want to help the immigrants. But you know who else I want to help? I want to help the American citizen. I especially want to help the American veterans. I don't care if one lost a pinky and the other lost an arm. I don't care if they didn't get any injury whatsoever and they just got out because of psychological trauma or because they just couldn't, cut it anymore. I don't care about any of that. At the end of the day, those people are still 10 times the hero that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will ever be. But somehow we have almost deified these people to the point of where she seems to be Obama 2.0, maybe 3.0, maybe, the Joe Biden presidency was a continuation of Obama. Maybe he already did have his hand up his ass and was guiding him already from the get. And then hopefully this was, gonna go into Kamala Harris. And then that was gonna be good old Barry O's freaking fourth turn as president. Because, why not? Get another turn, bro. You know what? While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and steal the Constitution? You don't give a shit about the Constitution anyways. You might as well write on it. You hung out with nothing but communists when you were alive, and you freaking bowed your head to terrorists and people that do not deserve the humility of the United States. And tell you what, the humility of the United States comes only with respect. And respect has to be a two-way street. If not, there is no respect. With Barry O, he basically, I'll say it, he cucked. He got cucked. He bowed his head. He apologized. He gave gifts. He gave money. He such a loser, man. And the thing is that he's so charming and he was so smooth. And I hated everything about him, to be honest with you. But this right here, what's coming up now, if she gets elected, it has to be at least 3 or 4 times as bad as Obama. I literally avoided the TV, no bullshit. This is not an exaggeration. I've already broken the fuck barrier, and I'm already almost at an hour and 30 minutes, like a crazy person. All right. I barely survived the Obama years. I really did, because Obama was such a piece of shit. He's the one that started dividing us. He's the one that started saying that there was racism and that it was easy to see and that cops were racist. And then he's the one that continued and endorsed that stupid hands up, don't shoot nonsense when the literal freaking what is it called? The not the crime sheet, the transcript, the literal transcript shows that you admitted doing it, and you even had a piece of this freaking box or whatever the hell it was that you had when you killed the guy or whatever, as an example. But this is crazy. This is crazy. And I'm talking about Obama. He literally said that he wanted to basically run the government again without having to present himself. That was Joe's economy. We can thank Barry O, most likely. I know that's a conspiracy theory, but you know what? Fuck the left. I'm gonna go with that anyways. fuck it. They're lying so much that at this point, I can't just turn the other cheek anymore. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Old Testament is still a thing. And the New Testament had Peter with a sword. And that means that Jesus Christ had no problem with people being armed. And he obviously knew that Peter was armed. So it's not like this is the first time that Peter drew a weapon, is what I'm saying. You know, some people have that explosive friend that you should never give drinks or a gun or a knife to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that guy belongs everywhere. I'm just saying some groups have that. So, but anyways, you guys, look, I really gotta go this time, and you guys gotta go too, man. I'll check you guys out tomorrow. Again, I love you guys. God bless you and yours, man. Vote, man, for real, vote. Don't let true darkness win, because I'll tell you this much: when you start renaming babies into fetus and feti, that is just a way of dehumanizing a person that was completely innocent, that has just been murdered. And I want you to understand that. So if you have any children of your own, and even if you believe in the pro-choice, selection, whatever, imagine not being able to have your baby. This woman is on camera, and she's got blue hair, she's got a nose ring, of course, and she's got a little girl who's just a little girl. And apparently that's her daughter. Lord forbid. What ends up happening? What you imagine will end up happening. She is trying as much as she can to inject leftism and hatred and anger, basically, into this innocent child who really is a blank slate. And this is another reason why Christians, like Protestants obviously, believe that they're born again, because the slate has to be clean, right? So they don't care about you. If you think that Joe Biden is a real Catholic, and he still stands by abortion, and he fights and has called himself a champion of abortion, he's not a Catholic. And I'm not saying that as, oh, it's a rule or this and that. I honestly, and I say this with all sincerity, I have an extremely tough time believing that anyone could be a Christian, an actual Christian, that has read their Bible at least once, that has understood the glory, the miracle that is this world, this life, this love that we were given, and tell me without a shadow of a doubt, even though there's been no there's been no archaeological evidence to disprove the Bible. In fact, things like the tunnel of Hezekiah were said to not be possible, and they found it. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. I'm saying that sometimes conspiracies work because blackmail is real, and some people are just weak enough that you can bend them even almost to their breaking point. Me personally, if it was my kid, I would probably do something like ransom, like for real. And that's against the law, but I don't care. You did it to me. Now you gotta face justice. And I'm gonna say it like that. I'm not gonna do what Cain, whatever his name did. Not automatically, anyways. But there's no way that I'm going to allow any little girl in my vicinity to just be spoken to by a complete and total stranger, whether it's a man or a woman, and they get all touchy feely. It sucks that we have to be in that type of planet, but it's my job, again, as a man, to look over this child that, the mother or the father or whatever has left the kid in the park alone for 20 seconds or whatever. You should be good enough, not even Christian enough, although obviously you should be Christian enough, to just look over the child and make sure he's okay. If the mom's indisposed, let's say there's, like a super important call, whatever. So that's what we got, guys. Let me know what it's like on the ground, please. I really want to know. Been playing a lot of Diablo 4, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I enjoy being like OP characters, and the Spiritborn is ridiculous. Like it's. I have never felt so overpowered in Diablo. I don't think. Yeah, no, I haven't. This is the strongest I've ever been, and I still can't beat like Pit 150 or anything like that. So what's the solution? Get a ton of money, get a ton of materials, runes, whatever, and whatever, and then we're gonna masterwork it again, or hope to temper it again, and then masterwork. It's gonna be crazy, or we can find something similar. So let's go back to killing every monster you see. Oh, loot, loot, loot. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's fun though, but it does get kind of crazy. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. Love you guys, Flock fam. Keep yourself safe, man. I'm not preaching violence. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a master tactician, and even if I was, I wouldn't presume that anyone would need me. But if someone does need help, please, I like helping people. That's my thing. So just let me know if you want to talk, dude, that's fine, man. But let's get this fucking election done. Let's get it done, man. There's people that are suffering for real, and it's gotta go. It's gotta stop. Love you guys again, Thanks for hanging out. Stay safe and stay based.